Love lives here.
Yes, so let us begin, as we always do with this time of our service, with our focus statement. Today, let's do all the E's so let's say our focus statement with enthusiasm, excitement, effervescence, elation. Let's do it with all the E's today, shall we? So here we go. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. And it is this transformative power of love that we are talking about today on Mother's Day, and what an appropriate day to be talking about the transformative power of love and what love looks like, and especially something called revolutionary love, which is what we will be sharing with you today. And I want to remind you that here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide, this year we are working with the theme of timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. I've been working on next year's theme again, so I've got to switch gears here. So this year's theme is timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision, and the theme for the month of May is a holy, holy uprising. WHOLLY, uprising, a holy, holy uprising. And what this is an uprising in consciousness, just as Justin was just singing about a moment ago with rise. Spirit, rise up, rise in me, rise in my consciousness, rise in my life. I allow spirit to lead the way. I allow love to lead the way. That love is really where we are at. Love is really what we are about. Love is how we move in the world. That this is this uprising of consciousness and uprising of love. So today we're talking about revolutionary love. Today we're talking about that transformative power of love that we say in our focus statement every single week. When we say we embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Today we are talking about that transformative power of love. That transformative power of love. So when we look at the word revolution, right? If we think about the word revolution and we look at what revolution means and the possibility of revolution and the ideas behind the word revolution and how we might approach this word revolution, one of the ways that we approach this word is that a revolution is a fundamental change in the way we think about something, or it is a fundamental change in the way we visualize something, or that we envision something. It is a fundamental change in a paradigm. It is a paradigm shift. So a revolution, one idea of a revolution, is that it is a change in thinking. It is a change in paradigm. And what do we know here at Centers for Spiritual Living? That when we change our thinking, when we change the way we think about things, what we think about changes. When we change our thinking, we experience a paradigm shift. That when we get into a different relationship with our thoughts, we enter into a different relationship with those ideas, that new things begin to occur, new possibilities begin to happen because we set a new cause in motion. So there is a revolution that is about. We are about a revolution, that we are about a shift in paradigm, not only within ourselves, but as more of us do this in a collective way, that we are shifting the paradigm, we are shifting the narrative, that we are rising in consciousness, that we are bringing everybody to a higher place of understanding, to a higher place of agreement, to a higher place of moving and being in the world, to a closer place of living our highest potential. Because it is a transformative process. A revolution is a transformation. That we are being called to a higher consciousness. And as we are called to a higher consciousness, we begin to move and behave and take action from a greater place of understanding, from a greater place of spiritual truth, of understanding spiritual truth, but not just understanding it with our heads, but understanding it with our hearts and our guts. So an embodiment of spiritual truth. And in so doing, when we embody that, and we begin to see the world through that lens, through a different lens, through a more embodied lens, then we begin to see changes in our life. We begin to see spirit at work in our life in ways that we thought were unimaginable before. And that, my friends, is revolutionary. It is a shift in the way we think. It is a shift in how we live our lives. It is a shift in our paradigm. It is a shift in our driving forces. It is a shift in our motivation. It is a shift in our intention, and it is a shift in our attention. Therefore, something new comes about. This is what we teach. This is what we know to be the truth, that when we don't like what we are experiencing, or we want to experience more of something, then what we need to do is, it's done unto us as we believe. So we shift our belief, we shift our consciousness, we change it, we revolutionize it into something that we do wish to experience. We say, you know what, this is enough of this mess. I'm tired of this mess. I'm tired of this old way of being. I'm tired of experiencing the same old, you know, wanting something different, but experiencing the same old, or doing the same exact thing, which is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same exact thing, or a definition of it, doing the same exact thing, getting, you know, expecting different results, right? So we are called to revolutionize our consciousness. We are called to revolutionize our thinking. We're called to revolutionize and lift not only ourselves, but one another. And so then when we look at the word love, my friends, when we look at the word love, what we know here at Centers for Spiritual Living, what we teach here at Centers for Spiritual Living, is we teach oneness, we teach wholeness, because we know that there is only what? How many? One. One life, one power, one presence, one infinite eternal. I say it all the time. There is only one. It is an individualized expression. Each one of us is an individualized expression, manifestation, impartation, transparency of the one life, that each one of us is the one. And when we come into that realization, when we come into the realization that we are truly one, that there is only one, that we are inseparable from the one, then we come into the realization that we are inseparable from one another, that we are interconnected. And not only are we interconnected, we are interdependent with all of life itself, with each individualized expression of life, regardless of what that individualized expression is. Each one is our brother, our sister, our sibling. Each one is us. Each one is a reflection of us. Each one is a piece of us. There is a beautiful saying from the Sikh tradition that you are a part of me that I do not yet know. You are a part of me that I do not yet know. So that when we encounter new life, when we encounter a new person, when we encounter something new, the saying is, you are a part of me that I do not yet know. But it is a recognition that there is only one, that you and I are one. There's the idea from Africa that of Ubuntu, right? That I am because you are. There's the Hindu tradition of I am that. All of these are saying the same thing, that there is only one, that each one of us is that one, that we are inseparable from one another, that there just is this one. And when we recognize that there is this one, my beloveds, when we recognize that there is this one, that there is only the one, then the thing that naturally flows forth from that and how we interact with one another is love. Is love. Because we recognize ourselves in everything we see, in everyone we meet, in everything we encounter. We are simply recognizing and acknowledging the spirit, acknowledging the divine in one another. And the way we do that, the natural outpicturing of that is love. And love shows up in many ways. It shows up as compassion. It shows up as protection. It shows up fiercely and ferocious. And it shows up gentle and kind and nurturing. But it is all love that is expressing and showing up through and as each one of us. The two greatest commandments, right, was love the Lord your God, or love God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. And then love your neighbor as yourself. This is that type of love that we are looking at, because when we recognize that there is just the one, then the one has to be love. It's love. This one is love itself. Therefore, each and every one is love. So then how do I interact with you, and how do you interact with me? And how do we interact with the person in line at Costco? How do we interact with the other drivers on the road? How do we interact with the beloved politicians that we see on TV, leading the country or leading the state or leading our city or leading anything? How do we interact with one another? How do we interact then with those who we feel are unlike us? How do we go about interacting with them? It's easy to interact and love the people that we love, our friends, our family, our church community. That's easy. That's easy, usually. Usually that's easy, right? Sometimes we might have some challenges, but that's usually easy. But what about those that, we have not yet learned to love? What we have the opportunity to do with these beloveds is we have the opportunity to approach this in wonder. We have the opportunity to love in wonder, because when we come from a place of wonder, we have an opportunity to love each other deeply. We have an opportunity to understand one another, to find our way back to one another. So we begin with wonder. We begin with a place of curiosity, of starting in a place where we might go, I wonder what he had for breakfast this morning. Or what did they have for dinner last night? I wonder where she's off to today. Because by bringing it so down to the granular, bringing it down to just a common everyday occurrence, and just wondering about this person's everyday life, and not even like all of their life, but just one aspect of it, like as simple as what are they having for breakfast today, right? How did they take their coffee? It removes temporarily. It suspends judgment. It suspends blame. It suspends shame. It suspends projection, and it allows for wonder. It allows for curiosity, and it allows for an opening of the heart to be able to be, I wonder. I wonder. And it invites them in a new way. It expands our circle of those that we can love, of those that we do love. It continues to expand our possibility, and we can experience love even in that moment. Love is so powerful. Love is the divine. And so what we look at when we look at revolutionary love is that if we look at revolution being a change of consciousness, or a change in your thinking, a changing of your paradigm, and we look at this oneness, and we look at love being the way, right? That we combine changing our thinking, and we combine that with love, then we are able to affect change. And how do we affect change? We affect change through love. We affect change through the transformative power of love. We affect change by loving one another, because revolutionary love is bringing our collective change, our collective consciousness, through our love for one another. And that brings about change, not only for our individual selves, but for our community and for our world. That this is one of the ways that we create a world that works for everyone, is we are allowing our mind, we are allowing our consciousness, we are allowing that which we know to be true, the co-creation, the co-creative process, that we are co-creating a world that works for everyone in all of creation. We use that co-creative process with the focus of love, with the intention of love, with the knowingness that we are co-creating with the one, that we are the one, so we are co-creating together through the nature of love. And life changes, life shifts, the world around us shifts, because we are intentionally bringing this revolution. We are intentionally bringing this revolutionary love to the field. We are intentionally bringing this consciousness of love and using this consciousness of love to co-create, to create with one another that which we wish to experience, that which we wish to see, that which we wish to, the experiences that we wish to live in, the systems that we wish to experience and live with, the institutions we seek to establish, we seek to change. We could do so through this transformative power of love, through this transformative power of revolutionary love. Revolutionary love. So my beloveds, every time you get tired and you say, enough is enough, I need to change this in my life. Every time we see a brother, a sister, a sibling on the street and we reach out with compassion, we understand their pain and suffering, or we try to understand, we get proximate, we get close to what it is that they are experiencing, their situation, their conditions, and we look to understand through love. Every time we allow ourselves to approach those we have not yet learned to love from wonder, every single time we are bringing love with us. We are experiencing love. Every single time we do any of these things, we enter into a state of love. And what is the state of love, my beloveds? State of love is an experience of the divine. It is an experience of the divine. State of love is a direct experience of the divine. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath. Just breathe for a moment. Take all of this in. That revolutionary love is what we are called to do as those who attend Centers for Spiritual Living. Revolutionary love is how we are called to show up. Revolutionary love is our work. Revolutionary love is our gift to the world. We know how to apply love. We know how to use love to transform our lives. We know how to use love to embolden others to live their highest potential. We know how to use love to transform the world around us. It takes loving ourselves. It takes loving one another, and it takes loving those we have not yet learned to love. And the best way we do this, my beloveds, is we do this in community. Yes, each one of us has a part to play in this. Each one of us has the opportunity to love all three, myself, others, and those yet to love. And yet when we come together in a community like this one, when we come together at Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, when we come together and we wrap our arms around this, And we speak those words every single week, that we embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. We are doing that world work for each other, for the world as a whole, and for ourselves. Us coming together in community, in common unity, to express love, to be the presence of love, to be the power of love, to be the transformative power of love. That is revolutionary love. That is one of the ways that we, together as Riverside Center for Spiritual Living, have an impact, make a difference in the lives of all that we come into contact with. So this moment, I invite you just to breathe in again. And if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes for a brief moment and ask yourself, who will I love today? Who will I love today? There is no right answer. There is no wrong answer. There's just an answer. Perhaps it's yourself. Who will I love today? Perhaps it's your dog or your cat, your spouse, your child, your parents, your siblings, other family members. Who will I love today? Perhaps it's friends, acquaintances. The person crossing the street, pushing a shopping cart with all their worldly possessions. The stranger in line in front of you at the store. Who will I love today? Perhaps it's the person who spoke ill of you, who's harmed you. The person who is acting with unskilled behavior. Perhaps it's the person who has forgotten who they truly are. They have forgotten themselves. Who will I love today? And breathe it in. Feel the love that you are. Expand throughout your entire being. Feel the love that you are emanate through you and express forth from within you to all around. Allow it to envelop the space that you're in. and expand further and further, as far as you can allow it to expand this day. You are the presence of love. You are the power of love. There's only one mind, one heart, one power, one love. You are revolutionary love. Now and always. And so it is.
Love.